Well, welcome, Marcella, and everyone else to Mud Flood Was Armageddon. Mud Flood Was Armageddon. Don't let them tell you anything else. This is going to be the craziest show ever. I mean, my goodness. This has been less than a week before I made that video about, hey, there's a storm coming and I think it's going to hit on Satan's front door or something like that. I've got it pulled up. We'll look at it. And Marcella and whoever else is watching tonight, I think that we should probably start with some pictures because this is going to take a little bit. Oh, off grid John, grab your wife, grab your kids, sit them down. This is craziness and I need all the help I can get. First, the pictures. They're set up to go in the order that, as documented, I closed out a video about I hate peer reviewed paper because peer reviewed papers are liars and I proved that. And then I wanted to find some more topics that I just really thought were interesting. And I found a few. Thank you, Lord, because I want to do my schoolwork and I want to make my videos. We're going to get into this ring of fire. I was like going like, oh, people are going to love this because if you stretch that ring of fire and invert it around what they call, the North Pole today, there's another judgment coming, and I think it's being activated now. I was amazed and heard a split second reference to these chimney rocks. They line up on the lunar standstills. You know me, I paused it, took a screenshot, added the captions, and looked up lunar standstill. Oh my goodness, we're doomed. Uh, did a what do you do? A screenshot of something else that when the Lord said, "Look, look at ground zero." Somehow He led me to the ground zero of where I had predicted that the atmospheric river would point us to the throne of Satan. And I'm there like, that's a weird mountain range to show me on and it wasn't the Google satellite Earth, the Google Earth. It wasn't that one. So this picture, I'm there, I got to take a picture and show these people because they're like, okay, Paco, yeah, we get it. That's weird, especially for someone that's always is talking about Mobius strips, analemas. And it kept getting weirder. They they kept giving they like, oh my goodness, and this is all right there by that Laurel Canyon in Hollywood. I'm like, that's weird. Couldn't figure it out because I've been all over in a lot of mountains and different things, and I couldn't. It's like it looks like French bread or something, right? It's and I've said all rocks are body parts. Okay, yeah, kind of thus saith the Lording that one. I have very few prophecies, but there's a few I'm going to have to go with all the way. I kept looking and going like, this is crazy. And I was digging around in this area. I checked it with another vision to go like, what am I looking at? So I just backed up a little bit. It's same thing. It's like, okay, well, why is this one so weird? Remember the picture on the thumbnail? Is this Satan's throne? This is an outline of that tarp, right? They're portraying it as a lake. Franklin Canyon Parkway, we'll see on what I used as the thumbnail. This is exactly that area of the Satan's Throne atmospheric river. There's a picture of the tarp, close up of what you saw on the thumbnail. You'll see the thumbnail, un momento. There, I'm dropping a little bilingualism on you. I love the bilingualism. Not a big fan of the bisexuality, though. Just my opinion that it's not a biblical thing. See, I'm seeing like this is a tarp. This isn't a real lake or whatever something. Because I'm seeing it trace the outline of like a tabletop mountain almost. If you don't think so, I got a few more pictures here. This is the Beverly Hills Drive, not Beverly Hills Drive, because this is the Beverly Crest, the highest mountain in the area. That's why the Beverly Hills are a little bit below it. Not really Satan's Throne. You had to go up. So here's that reservoir lake. I couldn't figure it out. I thought you might want to look at it. This is how you get. It's an electrical thing. There it is. Did I miss a picture? Seemed like it did a little jump skip there, right? So this just seemed weird to me. We're going to talk about it. You know how I pull up the tabs and then we'll talk, you know, I'll read your comments. So it's kind of like talking. What the heck? But anyway, so doesn't it look like we're seeing outlines of things underneath kind of a tarp or something? This is a famous lake, I guess. Is that the last picture? Oh, well. I thought there would be some more pictures. But that's it. Yeah. No, it can't be a giant ocean. It's so small. Wait until you see how small it really is. So here's the start. I think that we've all been welcomed. I was just watching. I had a few minutes. Look at this guy go. I watched this guy, and he watches me.
Something like this, right? After 1865 as a place to house veterans. I mean, look how we treat our veterans now. Look how we've always treated our veterans. I hate to say that, but do you really think they're going to this kind of effort because they suddenly cared?
No. And remember how my ministry started, you know, was to find out what did they do to my child who had just served two tours in Afghanistan, and I gave them a genius and they gave me back someone who was only good at drinking Fireball and thinking about killing himself. So I wanted to get to the bottom of it, and here we are. I had to look up a watch history for something. They're still throwing those toga things at me. See, I didn't watch these shorts today about the Tonga and the Samoa. I didn't watch any of those. I didn't watch this one. I did watch this one. But all of these toga ones, I did not watch them. They're running in the background somehow. I listened to these Bibles because I took a nap and then I was doing these Bible studies. I listened to these a couple of times today. This I couldn't stomach. Super cool. So now the toga stuff is over. That's weird though. You think you guys have problems with your algorithm? Everything seems to be working out well. You know, I know we're small. She'll be glad when Randy gets back. Okay, so Here's what I said. Praying for California as El Nino starts God's judgment on Satan's hometown. That was the start of the prophecy. And I was showing all this stuff and documenting it with Randy, so we'll have the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, because, you know, who's going to argue with RJ? He's going to pretty much blow you away. It's I mean, with his, you know, your arguments, he's not going to harm anybody. If that was what was going to happen, he would have started harming people, but he doesn't. So 6 days ago, nobody, you know, I appreciate every single one of those people that looked at this, and God will bless it too. But there's your documentation. This morning after my video, I'm there like, wow, I got to check out this whole Ring of Fire. That's the way it works. Honestly, it popped into my mind. I'm like, I should do a video. And I think I was watching Dutch Hints and BP Earthwatch, and I think I might have even gotten the idea about the Ring of Fire. And anyway, I remember Johnny Cash going, "I fell into a burning ring of fire," and I'm there like, I did a video on it before where I'd actually, you know, flipped it and shown that, like, when you know, it circles what they call magnetic North Pole today. I can't go over everything on this tab right now, but it's going to be excellent. This will be excellent. Oh no, something said. So I was watching these videos by Dutch Sense and some of these others, and they talked about, oh, don't be scared, be prepared, because of all of the earthquakes that are happening right now, that since I said it's the start of the judgment on Satan's hometown, and it's going to affect I said a lot this week, and a lot of the time I was in the spirit. I know. Then I have to pick a topic to write a paper. And if you're ever going to go to school, and I've spent a lot of time studying, don't wait to the last minute to pick your topic. So I was going to do mine about Joseph Brooks and some of the insanity around his life. So I was studying it. I'm like, look at all these Brooks. It took me forever to find the right one. And it didn't even list him as Arkansas politician. It just mentioned him as an American minister and politician. Joseph B. Brooks looks interesting. I would like to check on him later, Lord willing. That's me asking, Father. So I was just going to see if I could do a report on him. And oh my goodness, can I? Oh my goodness, there's a Brooks Baxter War that's only printed in the Wikipedia of the Flat Earth Nation in 4 languages. That suppression, we're going to get to the bottom of my end of semester, you know, final will be about carpetbaggers and scallywags, and it'll probably get an A. I'm hoping. I'm going to try. Hey, what's this? I was to watch the video, and it has an eye in the corner. We'll have to get back to it. I'm going to show the Satan's throne first. Sometimes when I have to, you know, stop listening to the Bible, I click this thing that shows my notifications, and it seemed as if I left it open. So there was this. We're going to get back to these guys. Did I show you these? Were there more pictures? I thought I had some pictures of the pictographs in the United States. Oh, I think I looked it up to show them to you this way. You know, intaglios. Think of the Nazca lines. Nazca lines. There's some of those in the United States. So I was looking at that. I don't know. I haven't done a show about them in a long time, and all of a sudden they're like, oh wow, something happened that made me get here. And there's that. Is that Satan Stone? Because that's the Franklin Canyon Reservoir. That is not a lake. The Franklin Canyon Reservoir is a lake. It's supposed to be a lake. Are there any other lakes around here? The Hollywood Hill. Here's Beverly Hills, Hollywood Hills, West Hollywood. This is where, like it kind of looks like a lake in that picture, but it's not. But Andy Griffith, and well, you'll see everybody says they filmed at the lake that's right there by, in between. There's Stone Canyon Reservoir, not at all the same thing. This doesn't look like it. How did I even get here? Did I just, I think I just had a choice of maps when I got here. I was looking up the Nude Bowl because that's something that seemed very Hollywood-like, and I thought it was talking about a natural formation because they were saying it was like a kidney bean shaped swimming pool in the mountains. Well, how did I even hear about? Okay, now we're getting to the mind of Paco. This is how you have to do it. You have to follow it back. Oh, Colorado Desert. That could be anything. Oh, it's the Blythe. Yeah, yeah. These in the United States, Nazca lines are in the Colorado Desert. So what else is in the Colorado Desert? I must have been thinking. I looked at this. That's weird. I need help. I got nothing. Absolutely zip. So there's a lot of stuff. I picked the Nude Bowl because it seems, like, I'm all into privacy, and I'm like, what's the Nude Bowl? And I was thinking, dang it, it sounds like a natural formation, like that seems weird. So I must have clicked on it. I did. It seems suspicious. So, oh, look, it's lightened out. So I clicked on the coordinates because I saw it. Look, it says 3396. Oh my goodness, that's like. And then if you take that 116, it kind of looks like if you flip it over, it might be 911. I'm all about that. I was hooked. So then it popped up to here. And as you know, I have a new computer. So I haven't picked my favorite. I must have just clicked one. And I saw, they're like, oh my goodness, the Nude Bowl is like right where the atmospheric river in the Laurel Canyon and the Hollywood and the Sunset Boulevard, and where I said, oh, that. And remember, this was 2 days before the actual storm hit. This was 2 days before the storm hit. The weathermen were ignoring this, and the few people that said, they said they're going to have an atmospheric river somewhere between Sacramento and San Diego. And I was saying, thus saith the Lord, the judgment is starting, and it's going to be this atmospheric river of the El Nino is the sun that used to bring the blessings of rain is now bringing judgment in the clouds. Everybody, over 200 people heard me say it. And now I'm digging down, doubling down. Because this is where I got to those other weird pictures, remember? That's the Franklin Canyon Reservoir. I wonder if they have any of those ones where it turns blue and then you can drop down right onto the street. Well, there's we can drop down onto Beverly Drive. You want to do that? It just looks like it's a orange trees. I don't think they're going to give you too much. This is that weird zip code. Anybody want to do anything with it? Go ahead. I got nothing out of it. I don't know why they did this, but it definitely was right where the atmospheric river hit. Something to do with phone numbers. The lunar standstill, I read that up there like, oh my, wow, what is it? I didn't know. But I said it showed me that the last minor lunar standstill was in October of 2015. The next one will be in our, before 2038's the end of the computer age. The last major lunar standstill was June 2006. If I know me, there's some June 2006 coming in our future. The next one will be January 2025. That seems like less than a year away. So I imagine I would look it up. So I sure did. And I'm there like, oh, it's all bad. It's all bad. There's nothing good about these lunar with these major lunar standstills when they happen. Oh my goodness. So well, this is just starting on June 1st. We're going to have to work up to 6. I'm looking at some. Well, you can just look at. I mean, you're getting the CIA and the Bundesnachrichtendienst declaring that this guy here, who was sentenced to jail, it was a mistake to arrest him in the name of terror. Germany had previously claimed that it did not know of his abduction by the CIA and his stay in the salt pit in Afghanistan. Now, notice how they frame a sentence. Well, the salt pit is actually a code name of an isolated, clandestine CIA murder site, prison, and interrogation center outside Bagram Air Force Base, located north of Kabul. My son was stationed there, and I've gotten to the bottom of this shit. Levee failures, Katrina, overturns another one. September 11 attack, overturned. No, we will no longer comply. They said they will explain later. They did not. So this is that's all on the first day. The second day, let's just, I mean, come on. I don't have time to read them all to you, but it's kind of nutty. It's kind of crazy. Crazy for being so lonely. And one is the loneliest number. It just keeps going crazy, right? So this is what's coming up. Won't be long. So I had to look up this Franklin Canyon Park. I couldn't see. I used a parlez-vous multilingual. I use a different word for reservoir. I should have just stuck with the American one. But if I did, it wouldn't have shown me that the Franklin Canyon Reservoir, I couldn't find it. Oh, wait, maybe I did. located here in Los Angeles, stood in for what that North Carolina lake where Andy Griffith and a much younger Ron Howard. That seems out of place to put a much younger. I mean, well, what do we say? It stood in for that North Carolina lake where the dead Andy Griffith and a much younger Ron Howard walked to go fishing during the opening credits because it's just right there. So I looked it up. Am I on my own now? What's going on here? So here it is. I mean, that's where we were, right? West Hollywood. Hollywood. This is, the Beverly Glen. We ruled out that lake. That's a reservoir dam that doesn't, it's nothing like. So it looks like, there's Clark Gable and Claudette Colbert. There's the lake. It kind of looks like a little bit like that lake now, in a way. Where's the Beverly Drive? There's Mulholland Drive. This is Coldwater Canyon Avenue. I know I wanted to, well, let's see what else I got. So this is like the only part of the entire California county that isn't covered with houses, but they're right bumping up against this, but they've saved it. So there's the reservoir, Franklin Canyon Park. Oh, wait, this is Heavenly Pond, not the reservoir. That's the Heavenly Pond. Okay, so in the film, you might have seen this because it's so close to Hollywood. Starting in 1931, you ever seen any of these movies? There's the Manchurian Candidate, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Rambo, Platoon, Kindergarten Cop, Silence of the Lamb, Camp Nowhere, Minority Report, the Book of Secrets. In television, of course, it's going to be everywhere, as Franklin Lake is everything, as Benjamin Franklin needs an even more skeptical second look. Who's with me? So you've seen this as the most recognizable place in the world. Paco has called, we're getting close to Satan's throne. Where is this lake? Here's that Franklin Canyon reservoir. If I'm missing something, tell me, because here they're showing, here's the reservoir, and well, they're showing the thing down here. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it in this picture? So I know, I think I already did this. I have it pulled up on this one. So I pulled it up on this German one. I don't know how it got here. When I was here, they want me to accept their cookies. I don't want to. How did I get to that? Oh, here we go. This has got to go. This has got to expand. I remember now how I got this to expand. We're looking for something that looks like that Delio. Where's that lake? So this is the German site. There's the lake. Is it tarp? They call it the Franklin Canyon Reservoir. It's not a reservoir. It's some type of a tarp. This is a reservoir? They got water underneath this? This is like the only place that there is. This is the only place in that part of California that doesn't have people on it. That doesn't show me the tarp. I would think that most people consider it a lake or something. Because I looked for it. The tarp, I mean. So let's just, if anybody can help me on this. In the meantime, I have to leave it open for something weird going on here. Franklin Canyon. Saw that. This is new. What's this? Okay, so anyway, that's really all I've got on the Is That Satan's Throne stuff. These other tabs are mysterious to me because I've been under a lot this week, and I've got a lot of, I don't know if it's the homework stuff. I wonder if I should just keep this short and just kind of let it go at that. I mean, but that's pretty crazy though. To me, what is that tarp doing there? Where is this lake? Why is there any open land left in California? What is this Satan's throne stuff? Well, I wouldn't give up if Randy was here. We'd keep going. So we'll go back to this. This is kind of what I was kind of yapping about. We'll we'll pick a sacred number of what they consider a sacred number, like 108.33. I don't put any stock in any of this. Maybe is going to come rushing in. This, which is it already coming up? Yeah, it's just gonna. I mean, it's all gonna. It's coming to the Mississippi. It's a continuation of. Man, if it's even happening.
Average comp stuck in the north, and that's
Full disclosure, I'm usually a microdoser and I only recommend microdosing. At this time, I have ingested a 1/4 ounce of mushrooms, woke up, and was ready to, you know, prophesy, teach, do that thing, you know, that I really rarely do. I rarely ever do this. Like 3 and 35 years. It's not like something God doesn't just do it all. This is a surprise to me as it is to everyone else when it happens. So, but we kind of work it out here. I'm pretty sure. I have a little trouble talking. That's what I wanted to explain to you. Oh, Claire.
There, and I'm going to keep this area warm. That's what it's feeling like in places from Minneapolis to Fargo, Sioux Falls, and Eau Claire, all feeling like April 9th through the 11th. We just started the month of February. That's how warm this is. So these numbers, 40s and 50s, to people all across the country might be like, oh, that's pretty pleasant. But remember, this is their winter months. And yes, you might enjoy it, but some of you are also saying, hey, what happened to winter? We haven't had our winter sports. We haven't gone ice fishing. We haven't done our snow sports, snowmobiling, all of that. Instead, they're
Oh
opening.
yeah, this is all about ruining the economy as part of the judgment. Oh, see if there's anything happening live.
For an isolated brief tornado. So we can't lose sight of that with that tornado watch in place until 2 p.m. So Miami heads up mostly straight line winds right now. And I can tell you why I know that, because when you
Well, you're not sharing the
Oh,
girl.
the thing is, Randy, is like, it's just what I just said. They've switched to like, oh my goodness, it's Florida. Miami's getting crushed. Nobody wants the day of the Lord. I mean, it's not like, I mean, I pray for the survivors of this.
it starts to kind of bow out like that, we see that curvature. This line of storms pushing quickly at 60 miles per hour is bringing in those very powerful winds. Now we could get a little bit
Right.
of a
This show lasted an hour, 40 minutes. And there's so much in it because I've made it completely clear this was only the start. It was going to involve wherever El Nino was going. And it circles this flat dome-shaped disc, dome enclosed disc.
pink in that line. Broad rotation is what we've been watching up towards Naples. That line of storms has now pushed its way inland on the I-75.
That must be what's going to push it to the Mississippi.
Off to the east of Immokalee. But again, straight
Yeah,
line.
I'm flying in Tuesday.
Right here.
Oh,
with
right. And Randy's flying, so he'll be back safe and sound, Lord willing, tomorrow. But let's go to what is there? 3333. That's another one that freaks people out. Well, we're close. What was I yapping about there?
That those who are part of the first resurrection will reign with Christ during the 1,000 years. But here it makes it sound like the rest of the dead are part of the first resurrection, and they're not coming to life until after the 1,000 years. So, yeah.
Well, any comments, Randy?
I guess I don't look at it more than what it's actually saying.
Right, where they talk about this is the first resurrection. Well, they're talking about the people that didn't worship the beast or its image and didn't receive the mark on the forehead. They came.
I label that as the rapture, and it was explained those that had died. Those would be taken first, and they would all meet. And those that haven't died yet but were raptured would meet. Yeah.
The word they came to life. They the ones who did not worship the beast, and then the rest of the dead did not come to life until the 1,000 years were ended. And that's their explanation for what is the first resurrection. Well, blessed and holy are they that had that part. the second death, the great white throne, this is the second death, has no power over them. They're already been changed. They're already,
And as far as those that were
yeah, anyway, so we can get back to that. Bara, did you see that there's a link in there? If you want to pop on and give us an update on what's going on in Finland right now, I would love to hear it. Because we have a man on the ground. The Lord has provided a reporter on the ground. I don't know. Yeah. No, it's the magnetic north is still moving around up there. So nobody's got a good idea on that. But how about that? What was that one thing that we were looking at? The lunar standstill. The next one is next year, and they're bad. But I want everybody to, take a second and appreciate that today Vara is here, and he's not walking home, and he's not freezing cold. How are you doing, brother?
I'm tired, man.
You're tired? Can you just give us
almost
about
5 in the
5 minutes?
morning here, but it's nothing new to me, really.
Well, it's 5 in the morning in Finland. What's the vibe? What's the vibe? The vibration in Finland? Are you going to get sucked into a NATO death trap?
Well, we're already in it, really.
Oh, okay.
Because we're a part of it now. I mean, it's just a matter of time, really. Right? Like, I'm thinking 2024, 2025, there was a commander in the Finnish army forces, like on the media, telling all the reserve people you should be in good fit by 2025. And the latest on that was like, there was this one minister who was on the news saying, I think we should deny people the right to get their way out of the reserve, because it's a legal right. You just apply that this is my reason, I want out of the reserve of the army, of the defense forces, and then you go to a camp for 2 weeks or a week, and
you're kidding me.
Well, that was what he said in the news, and the result of that was hundreds and now thousands of young Finnish men are leaving the reserves. That's great news,
And that's happening, and I just went over that whole thing about the lunar standstill. It only happened in 2006, and the world blew up. The 2008 to 2010, what happened? Well, I had a house that I had bought that was, I think it was $115,000 at that time, 2000, and I had it about 12 years, and it was worth $379,000. And then in 2008, boom, every property in the United States went down by 1/3. And we had the first time ever, property always goes up in value until 2008, 2010. And this happened around the world. This atmospheric event, this judgment, is a worldwide event because our world is run by mafias. Why doesn't it say NATO and instead of the national? It should be the mafia, military group or whatever. Go ahead, Vara. I'm interrupting you.
No, I'm just saying, man, it's pretty mild out here, like within the people. I see, people are waking up in a good rate.
Now, you've walked home in some pretty freezing cold weather. How is the weather? What is the weather there like now?
It's been below zero most days.
Right. Yeah, the RJ, the famous Randy from Wisconsin, his big concern is that there's been a warm up for so long in the Midwest of the United States that the trees already started to bloom, and now another big freeze is coming, and a tree only blooms once a year. If it blooms and then they get frost, they
Wait,
just go dormant
you-
for a year.
Are you saying that trees are starting to bloom earlier than they're supposed to?
Yes, yeah, that is what I've been led to believe.
Oh shit, man! I mean, that's perfect, like perfect synchronicity to my.
It
my-
is
I mean,
because
they say like time is speeding up, right? And they're
and
asking,
this
like,
judgment, everybody that is so used to just finding food on every street corner as easy as they could go find their meth and their fentanyl on every street corner, all of a sudden that's going to be turned off. No meth, no food. What are they going to do? I'm going to say, people, be prepared. This is a judgment. This is a judgment. And I'm going to now, once again, I rarely get to talk to the people that are living in Northern Europe. So if there's anything on your mind, take the next couple of minutes, because I'm going to wrap up this show.
yeah, well, just see things happening in Finland. We had a protest today, Convoy Finland. I was streaming there, and I'm starting to take a more active role in, making videos and creating, I hope, teachable, learnable content in my own language.
Is there anything to that, the farmers' protest in Northern Europe, around Europe, where the farmers are protesting?
No, we had that like 2 years ago when it started, right? It was pretty good protest. Like usually Finnish protests are like you gather a bunch of people, in front of the parliament house, and you just hang around, it's a nice conversational, hangout place, and you drink beer, and
Yeah.
you're not like, what you should be doing, right, is you have signs, and you have a message, and you have a demand for this.
It's a good way. It's a good way to be put onto a list and to be groomed later, because what is the major problem with those protests? They are infiltrated with government agents.
Yep, and that happened today. Like this thing that was on today, there was like 200 people. It was, if you was following it, it was obvious that in the planning phase group, there was already people sabotaging it.
Yes, it's all entrapment. They're trying to entrap us in something we've already been entrapped in. Thank you very much, Vara. I'm going to let you go. Much love and many blessings. I do want to remind everyone that this is a flat earth nation. The golden age is past, because the mud flood was Armageddon. They have a big weekend in Super Bowl planned for you. Satan is being judged. It is a narrow road. At one point, all I want is you to be on your knees, believing in your heart that Jesus Christ is Lord, and confessing it with your mouth. Amen. Hallelujah. Aho. Aloha. Arrivederci. Ciao. Sayonara. Aveda.